Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to do something a little bit different. Today, I want to give a full reading for March. So, clear your deck as always. And as I'm shuffling, I'm just asking my guys to please give me a reading for the month of March. Whatever it is you need to know. Cards are already falling out. Whatever it is you need to know for this month. And stick around to the end of the reading because at the end I want to pull out some cards to break up week by week, a card for each week. So stick around to the end of that video, and later on, and each week I'll do a full-on reading for that week. So without further ado, let's see what comes up for the month of March. So we start off with the Six of Wands, the Fool. We have the Page of Cups, the Lovers, the Queen of Cups, the Five of Cups, the Sun, the Five of Wands, the Four of Swords, the Wheel, Tree of Life, Temperance, the Devil, and lastly we have the Palace of Swords. Of course, I have extra little cards. We have the Nine of Swords, Six of Swords, the Ten of Cups, and the Six of Cups. There are a lot of major arcanas for the month of March. Let's see what the message is that we get for the month of March. So, we start off with the Six of Wands. Now, this is my favorite card in the entire tarot deck because the Six of Wands, unless there are other meanings that I haven't seen yet, it only has one meaning for me, and that meaning is victory. So, you're on the path of victory for the month of March. Good things are going to be coming in the month of March. Victory is finally going to be achieved in the month of March. Everything that you've been working towards, chasing your dreams, all these challenges and burdens that you've had to overcome, it's finally going to get you there. What's covering it right now, what's going to aid you along this path is the Fool. So, I know in the previous reading I said for this, for the journey ahead is gonna take a lot of serious nature to get you to where you want to go. Once you've achieved this victory, you can finally embrace that joy. The Fool is all about embracing that joy, taking risks, jumping off the ledge, doing things without thinking, just embracing that childlike joy, being the Fool, right? Once you've achieved this goal and you've got your victory in your hands, you can finally embrace that Fool once again. Responsibility can sort of take a backseat so that you can enjoy this moment, because up until now, things have been very serious. Things have been either blocking you or challenging you to level up. And we can't necessarily level up when we're being irresponsible, right? Taking risks and being foolish. So we have to take that serious nature into account when we're dealing with that chaos environment. But when we get to our goal and we finally achieve it, we can embrace that joy and have fun and be the Fool once again. And the month of March brings that out of us again. We can finally embrace that month of March. Month of March, it's interesting because we're achieving our victory. The month of March is the 3. It's the third month of the year. The 3 energy brings a lot of fire. It brings a lot of passion. It brings a lot of creativity. There's the Fool coming in with the creativity. It's quite an interesting number because it work-wise, it progresses you towards. There's a lot of progression, a lot of fire lit under your feet, right? But there's also creativity involved with it as well. The Fool comes out. You get to embrace in things that you've never embraced before, like doing creative things, maybe like painting, maybe you're finding new ways, new creative ways in order to overcome these challenges where you can use that Fool-like nature, that creative-like nature to overcome a lot of the burdens that has caused you trouble in the past. This month brings out a lot of that. We have the Sun in the month of March. The Sun, just like the Fool, is that childlike energy. It's the joy. It's full with a lot of joy. The Sun also being a fire element. It brings in love, light, joy. It takes all that chaos and it kind of throws it away. It burns it up. It fizzles it away. It balances out all that chaos with exactly the same amount of light, possibly, hopefully, even a little bit more light. It's all about embracing that joy. We have the Page of Cups. Page of Cups being very low down on the court cards. It's all about emotions. It's brand new emotions surfacing. So we've come through the month of February. Has been there was a lot of love involved with the month of February. Valentine's Day, but there's also a lot of relationships that needed to be reworked, a lot of relationships that need to be strengthened, a lot of brand new relationships coming in, not only in our personal lives, but in our social lives as well as our work environments. Emotions were scattered all around the place. And now when we're getting to the month of March where it's all about victory and joy and fun and happiness, we have to relearn how to deal with those emotions, because the month of February was all about relationship emotions. Now it's like, okay, now you've achieved your goals. What's next? How do you deal with dealing with your goals now, right? So it's brand new emotions surfacing up, things that you need to understand, because as I've mentioned, we've come from the Five of Wands, we've come from a place of chaos, we've come from a place of turmoil, and now that's over, and we're not necessarily sure how to quite handle that immediately, right? It takes some time to get used to that. Then we have the Lovers, right? The month of February, like I mentioned, was all about creating those relationships. That still follows with you into the month of March. You still have that support, you still have that joy, you still have those connections that you've created. That is part of this victory. That is part of reveling in this joy and this passion that you've gained, right? This creative way that you've gained your victory, right? The Lovers, your relationships have followed you through into the month of March. So all that hard work has paid off, right? No longer will you have to deal with any of the turmoil and the grief on your own anymore. You have the support structure following with you into the month of March. Before, you might have done things differently, you might have done things on your own, but now you've gone through the troubles of gaining brand new relationships, not only with yourself but with faith, with the people around you, getting rid of some toxic relationships as well. And now you don't have to deal with this grief or this pain or the backlash or the results of all of this chaos. You don't have to process any of this on your own. You have the support structure, which is fantastic, especially in this sort of in this sort of environment that we find ourselves in, with tarot and spirituality. And support is a major factor with all of that, because you can sometimes feel alone at times. All the spiritual people understand what that means. When you're going through these journeys, it can feel like you're going through some of these things alone. It's nice to have that support structure. So we have the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is still a bit of a mental game, right? These chaos, the Five of Wands, the Five of Cups, and the Four of Swords. We're still dealing with the tail end, the completion of this chaos that we've been in, right? A lot of the month of March is dealing with, the Six of Wands, the victory, the Fool, the joy, the sun, the embracing all these new things. But that also doesn't mean that that's all that the month of March is going to be. There has to be a balance. There can never just be one. It can only be one thing. It throws everything off balance. So to balance all of this joy and this victory that we're achieving, we still need to deal with a little bit of the finer details of the chaos that we've just endured, right? It's processing, it's reflecting, it's understanding, and then setting aside, right? Finding the lesson, taking the lesson, and then moving forward. So that is what the month of March is going to be about. You're not going to be in the chaos. You're just going to be processing the chaos that you've just come out of, right? While embracing all of the joy and the victory that surrounds you on a day-to-day basis. We move from the Page of Cups to the Queen of Cups. So this whole reflection, this brand new joy, this happiness that is coming into our lives is going to make our emotions grow once more. We're going to strengthen our emotions again. Now that we've dealt with all the chaos and we know how to deal with chaos, our emotions are strong because of the chaos. Now when the joy comes back into our lives and all this fun comes back in our lives, our emotions can soften once again, and we can start to appreciate and revel in all the joy and the victory that we've achieved, right? So that Queen of Cups softens that again. It's not going to soften it in a way that you're going to get affected as strongly as you did with all the chaos. That strength is still there. What I mean by softening it is that you learn to still appreciate things. You can still learn to bring new things into your life, knowing that it won't hurt you, right? Because that's what chaos does. When chaos comes into our lives, it hurts us. So we put up a wall so that it doesn't hurt us anymore. The Queen of Cups sort of puts a door in that wall. The wall's still there, but you still allow certain things in, right? things that will bring joy into your life, like the sun, the fool, the six of wands. Make sense? And then we have the wheel. The wheel is another major arcana. The wheel is all about an ending of one cycle, beginning of a new. It's the karma card, the karmic card in the tarot deck. So this chaos environment, this chaos cycle is ending, and now you're stepping into a cycle of victory, a cycle of joy, a cycle of rebirth and new emotions. The wheel represents that. We have the tree of life, also another major arcana, which represents universal resources are with you in this new cycle. Universal resources are still at your disposal, even though you've gotten all this this joy and creativity and victory in your life. Usually, we only tap into the universal resources when we're going through chaos, when we need the support. But now, even now that we have it, the universal resources are still there, and now that our emotions are also softening, we can maybe learn to appreciate that even more and tap into it, knowing that they'll be there for us even in the dark times, even in the good times. It's still there. That we can tap into that regardless of the situation, and we don't tap into it just because we're going through chaos and we need the support. Right? Then we have temperance. Temperance usually, when we're going through chaos, temperance usually means patience. But when things are when that cycle has ended and we're no longer dealing with the chaos and we don't need to be patient anymore, temperance represents the energy that we give back to ourselves. Temperance usually is all of the it means usually we take all of the energy that we give into everybody else, and we take that energy and we put it back into ourselves instead. So we stop focusing so much on external values and we start focusing on internal values. The tree of life and temperance right next to each other, back to back, represents that just because we're out of the chaos doesn't mean that we need to stop working on ourselves. So we still need to reflect. We still need to realize that we still need to maintain this energy that we're going through, maintain the joy, maintain the connection to the spiritual source, maintain that Queen of Cups energy, that softness of the emotions, because no matter where we are, no matter what we're going through, there's always going to be chaos. The devil is always ever present. No matter if we're riding a high or we're in the lowest lows, the devil is always there. The devil doesn't mean that it's the actual devil, right? The devil can be anything. It can be depression. It can be an emotion. It can be a situation. It can be a person. It can be an entity. It can be whatever. The devil is just a representation of something, right? Something that wants to break you down. Something that wants to take away this victory. Something that wants to take away your strength. That's what the devil represents. So that is why it is very important that the temperance is here, because temperance is all about reflecting, understanding that we are where we are because we've gone through certain things, looking back within ourselves and knowing that we've gone through this and we will continue forward, going through each and every chaos, learning new lessons and getting stronger because of it, constantly reflecting on ourselves, right? That's what temperance is all about. Remembering who we are and what got us there so that we don't fall for the devil's tricks again. That's the point of it. And finally, we have the Palace of Swords. The Palace of Swords represents that safe haven for our mind. We had the Four of Swords earlier. That's all about chaos and sleepless nights. The Palace of Swords gives us that, palace. It's a safe place, a mental break, a mental freedom, a space that we can go to, sort of like the Tree of Life. It's the universal space that we can go to feel safe, where all of these energies can be locked away safely so that nothing can ever affect it again. That's our happy place. Right? All of this builds that happy place, and we can finally understand what that is because of this month that we're going through, or maybe even create it for the first time if you haven't got one already. And just, again, Queen of Cups, learn to appreciate that, realize that all this chaos hasn't tainted it, it's still there, and it still brings you even more joy than what it used to bring before. Right, at the end of my readings, I'm just going to talk about the outlying cards over here that just give extra information. We have the Six of Cups, which is all about sharing in the gifts, sharing in the emotional joy that you've obtained, the victory, the Fool, the Sun, sharing in all those, sharing in the lessons that you've achieved along the way, the Five of Wands, the Five of Cups, and the Four of Swords. Right? That all comes together and brings us the Ten of Cups, which is essentially the Palace of Swords, but for emotions. Ten of Cups is the height of where your emotions can be. I know the King of Cups is there as well, but the Ten of Cups is it's the happy home, it's the house, it's the wife, it's the kids, it's the family, it feels to me that the Ten of Cups is where, like, the sweet spot where you want to be with the emotions, right? And we kind of want to get to that point in our lives. The Nine of Swords represents, again, the Five of Wands, the Five of Cups, the Four of Swords. It represents that chaos, that turmoil, that all the things that we've overcome, and it fits perfectly with the Six of Swords, because the Six of Swords is all about overcoming those chaoses and moving into calmer seas, calmer waters. So that is the outside cards. At the end of my readings, as you know, I like to pull out all the major arcana to see what the major life lessons are. And after that, we will then do a breakdown of the month of March for week by week. So let's see here. This one wait as well. This. Yeah. Wow, there's a lot of major arcana for the month of March. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 cards for the month of March, which is quite interesting because 7 is all about the spirituality. It's all about connecting again with Source. It's all about focus and drive. So it's also a fire number, which is quite interesting. It's the opposite of the 3, actually. The 3 is more about passion, lighting the fire, momentum. 7 is more focus, driven, control. Interesting. We're looking at the major arcana for the month of March. So we start off with the Fool. The Fool finally comes back into our lives after all the seriousness and the chaos that we've endured. The Fool, now we've got the Fool coming back. We've had the victory earlier in the reading. The Fool represents that joy that we can finally embrace once more. That we've achieved our victory, we've achieved our goal, and now we can start to have fun once more. All those relationships that we've obtained during the month of February have come with us into our new month, into our new cycle. And we can embrace more into the light, embrace more into the joy. The Sun comes in with that childlike energy. It takes away all of that darkness. It takes away all of that chaos. And we can finally have a little peace, have a little bit of a quiet, have a little bit of safety before any more chaos has to come our way. We have the Wheel that comes up. The Wheel is all about ending of a cycle, so ending of the chaotic environment that we're in, and now we're stepping into a new cycle of joy. The Fool is there, the Sun is there, the Lovers is there, coming with us into the new era, where we'll be immediately met with the Tree of Life. The Tree of Life is that universal resources. It's our faith once more. It's the universe that we can tap into, not only when we're in chaos, but also when we're in a good space. We can tap into that and appreciate where it's led us, where it's helped us to get to. And now that we're in a much better place to appreciate it, we can appreciate it even more. And we can use it again once more to maintain all these gifts that we've achieved, right? We have the Temperance. Temperance is all about taking that energy that we spend into everybody else and spend it into ourselves, right? And fill it into ourselves. It's reminding ourselves that if we don't take care of ourselves, we can't take care of anybody else. We need to focus on ourselves first, take care of ourselves first, because the devil is always around. The devil doesn't necessarily mean it's the actual devil. The devil can be an entity, a person, a situation, an emotion, anything that just wants to break you down and take away the strength, take away all these gifts that you've achieved, take away all these things that you've worked so hard to get to or achieve. Right? That is what the devil represents. Temperance counters the devil. Temperance focuses on our internal scale, our internal measurement. It makes sure that we are okay, that we are in the right space, in the right setting, that we reflect on all the lessons that we've learned along the chaos, so that when the devil comes again, we know how to deal with it because we've learned all these lessons through all of the chaos that he or it or whatever the devil was put us through, right? Because that's what puts us through all this chaos. Right. Now, we have finally reached the end of the reading, right? But I now want to break it up, the month of March, into its 4 weeks. So I'm going to pull out 4 cards. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to clear the deck again, and we're going to shuffle once more. And I'm going to be asking my guides to please give me a breakdown for the month of March. Just 4 cards to see what each week is going to bring. And then, as the month of March progresses, I'll be doing weekly readings. So please stay tuned for that. Come back to the channel, look for those readings, especially if one of these cards resonates with you in any shape or form. So, the first week of March is Judgment. The second week is the Ten of Wands. The third week is the Eight of Cups. And the fourth week is the Eight of Swords. Okay, so as I said before, the month of March is a 3. It's passion, it's energy, it's creativity, it's fire. It's the elements of fire. It's very progressive fire, right? Like I've mentioned before, the 7 is all about focus-driven fire. Like you focus on one thing. 3 is all about uncontrollable fire, but that can be good. That can be good. It's passion. Passion is fiery. It's enforced, right? So we look at the first week of March. First week of March is Judgment. Judgment represents following your calling, following your passion. It's a message that's been given to you from an external source, whether it be your ancestors, whether it be your higher self, your angels, your guides, your religion. It's following your calling, chasing your dreams. It's going down the path that you're meant to go down. Not because it's easy, not because somebody told you to do it, but your internal blueprint, your spiritual blueprint, your soul path. That is what Judgment represents. It doesn't mean that it's going to be the easiest path. There's going to be challenges. Sometimes the challenges are going to be even more challenging than any of the other challenges that you've endured. But it's because it is what you're meant to be doing. It's your soul path, right? And overcoming those, learning the lessons from that is going to bring so much more. You're going to be resonating on a much higher frequency because of it. You're going to be leveling up your soul, leveling up your emotions, your everything about you is going to level up because you're following the soul path. The first week of March is going to represent a lot of following your calling, whatever that may be, right? Then we deal with the 2nd of March, which is the 10 of Wands. The 10 of Wands represents a lot of responsibility. It represents a lot of. It can represent a lot of burdens, but mainly in the sense of responsibilities, right? Like I said, following your calling doesn't necessarily mean it's always going to be the easiest part, and the second week represents that. There are going to be challenges that come up in the second week of March that are going to make you, level up. It's going to use that fire energy, the fire energy of the 3, the fire energy of the March, and it's going to throw a lot of curveballs at you. There's going to be a lot of responsibilities that you may have to adopt. There's going to be a lot of burdens that you're going to have to shed. There's going to be a lot of rebalancing of your normal state of being and figuring out what balance represents on an external force. This mainly on an external force, right? So be prepared for the second week of March. The third week of March, however, is a much nicer week. The third week of March is the 8 of Cups. It's all about soul journeys. Now, I said it's a much nicer week, but soul journeys can also have its challenges every now and then. But usually after a chaotic situation like that, when the external gets balanced, the internal needs to get balanced as well. And the third week represents that. So that's all about reflecting once again, temperance, right? We reflect once again on our internals, making sure that everything is still in check, that nothing has gotten damaged, and even if something's got damaged, we do some maintenance, we do some crisis check, And we reflect once more, and we make sure that's what the Eight of Cups represents. It's all about reflection. It's all about checking in again, connecting to our source, connecting to our inner self, and going on that journey once more, reminding ourselves what we're trying to achieve in the long run, and to still keep working towards that. And then finally, we have the fourth week. The fourth week is the Eight of Swords. The fourth week represents. The fourth week is all about mental strain. Now, there can be some mental strain that comes in. It's all about protecting your mental assets, if that makes any sense. There's going to be a lot of things that may come up in the fourth week that challenge you on a mental scale. So first we had follow your calling, which leads you to an external challenge, which then puts you into an internal challenge, and then we have a mental challenge, right? It's all about following your calling. The month of March is following your calling. As I've mentioned in the previous reading, in the much bigger reading, you do achieve your victory at the end of this. You do achieve that full joyful behavior, but it doesn't come without its challenges. We're still reflecting off of the chaos that we've endured in the previous month, and this is part of that. We're reflecting on the chaotic, the external, the internal, and the mental. This is part of that. We're dealing with. We have our Palace of Swords in the full reading. I spoke about the Palace of Swords. We have our happy place. We have our safe haven. The Eight of Swords is all about still continuing to protect that safe haven by dealing with all the things that could possibly affect it in any way, could possibly hurt it, could possibly damage it in any way. We're still reflecting off of the chaos that we've endured, right? So that is what the fourth week represents. So it's much easier to break these things up into week by week things, because if we're dealing with all three of these things at the same time, we will go insane. So please break it up. First week, remind yourself of your calling, follow your calling, whatever that may be, find that passion. Second week, deal with the external forces, find that external balance, deal with all of the maintenance that is required for the previous months that you've endured. Deal with all of that external responsibility and burdens, and find that balance. Third week, we go internally, spiritually. We deal with our soul, reflect again once how we've been affected these past few months, and check in with that. And lastly, we do the mental check. We go into our safe place. We go into our safe haven. We reflect. We remind ourselves of all the lessons that we've learned through this journey, and we prepare ourselves for the next journey to come. So, if you like that reading, if any of that resonated with you, please consider liking this video. Subscribe to my channel for videos to come, and I will see you in the first week of March weekly reading for your tarot reading, and I will see you there.